There we go. That's live. I'm gonna perfect this. It kills me teaching this part, especially now. I'm going to take the training down from the Black Friday one. So all the stuff that I taught on Black Friday, which was actually a 2-hour training of the same training, and that'll be in Business Growth Network. So it's actually still there in my group, but I'm taking it down.
Put it into.
I have to by hand upload it to YouTube, and then that will be in Business Growth Network.
Okay.
And that one actually has visuals.
Oh, okay.
Like screen share.
Yeah.
So you can actually see what I'm doing. So
Okay. I'll still take notes.
I did it on Black Friday, but wanted to do how to create the 365 Facebook post in 1 year, because we've done it over and over and over and over and over and over and over with clients. And you can do it in 1 day. Like I thought I had a guy who didn't perform as he should have, and so I wanted to make sure it was done for a client. It is actually easier to do 52 Facebook posts for every Monday in the entire year than it is to just come up with 5 separate posts. Yes, because you can come up with a theme. Now you wouldn't want to put the theme back to back, maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? But if you do it for the entire year, it actually becomes easier to do an entire year's worth of Facebook than it does just trying to do a week's worth of Facebook post.
Okay.
One of the reasons to kind of do it in this manner, it is all evergreen. So that means it's not your campaigns, it's not Christmas, it's not Easter, it's skipping any, if the World Trade Center comes down, obviously you might want to pause that day or come back and delete that post. It's not your holidays, it's not your Christmas post. But on Facebook especially, you're going to get some leeway, so having 2 posts is a good thing, not a bad thing. Twitter, you can have a lot more, although they're changing the platform a lot right now. But predominantly, Facebook is where everyone's getting clients. They're the big behemoths, so I'm going to talk about Facebook. So if you have 1 evergreen post a day, that means you don't have to worry about your organic posting unless you're actively at an event or doing something or have a campaign. You might add to it, and you can always come back and add to the evergreen program. So I use Content Studio, which makes a lot of these things even easier. Meet Edgar has a program, but it doesn't allow you to do a lot of the other things. It was one of the very first programs that allows you to do evergreen posting, which was awesome. But then they stuck in their niche and they haven't really developed. Whereas Content Studio, what was the other one I was using? eClincher did, and I just liked Content Studio better because price point. eClincher was $200 a month for me. Agency price, not normal price. Post Blender does some cool things, but again, they don't offer evergreen. Hootsuite does some cool things, but they don't have evergreen.
What does evergreen mean?
Evergreen means, evergreen actually means that it doesn't have a season. I could put the post out in summer, I could put it out in Christmas, and it doesn't matter. It's information that exists no matter what day it is.
Okay.
But this is also rotation. So when Hootsuite and Buffer were out to schedule your social media, so you could create 1 post and you could send it to LinkedIn, Google+, and Facebook all at the same time. They all roughly have horizontal patterns for their pictures. They have the same parameters, they work under roughly the same ideas. So that worked. The evergreen posting specifically is it actually creates a big block and it just rotates it. So I can put in 52 posts in a block, and then I can set parameters so it posts every Monday at 8:53 in the morning, every single week. So again, it's not going to skip for Christmas. It's just going to say I want it to post once a week, starting on Monday, December 21st at 8:43 in the morning, and so just once a week, 8:43 in the morning, it's going to post that Monday schedule. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Each little block can have its own parameters. So you could just do a giant grouping that has all your posts and they just go on once a day. Or maybe you have it post twice a day and it just keeps on rotating. I specifically do it by day because I can add customization. I can say, hey, good morning Monday, right? How's your Monday going? So it seems like it might actually not be scheduled way in advance. It has some personalization to it compared to the bots that are scheduled on Twitter all the time that are just rotating blanket information. It has nothing to let you know what day of the week, no timestamp, no nothing. You know it's a bot. Well, I know it's a bot. So by doing it by day of the week, I can give each day of the week kind of like a little theme. I can pump out the material really quick and I can separate it out so it's not back to back. So if I had done 52 posts up front, put it in the content scheduler, did 52 for Tuesday, or different ones, put them in the scheduler, they're all going to be right next to each other. And actually, in the very beginning, you couldn't move those around except for manually. So now that there's like, Edgar, I know, has a button you can push and say mix it up, but then now you don't know. It could be 2 Monday style posts back to back. It could be 3 posts for all you know. It's just going to randomly mix it up. By doing it in blocks by day, you can come up with a very set theme, and you can kind of give it some personalization that makes you know it's Monday. And especially if you do the same things in the office every Monday or every Tuesday, you can even put a little bit of that into the post so it feels even more real and not scheduled. Where do I have this one? And this is dirty from the last time I cleaned it. So 365 posts. Again, that's 1 for each day of the year. It breaks down into 52 posts.
What about leap year?
Per group. And we're going to group them by the days of the week. It's actually, it does account for that. So that just means
it's every Monday, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. So it's going, you might have slightly different number of posts that go out, and you'll change some ones. Again, they should be evergreen. So the idea of trying to work it out so that you have 1 post at the beginning of the year and you're going to have 4 posts for January and somewhat, no. No. Evergreen, non-seasonal, non-campaign, because of days like leap year, or because a post may not go out because you forgot to refresh your token or something. So just leave it be. Just 52 posts minimum to make sure, and you could even do less. Most people are not going to notice, but if you're going to build, might as well build it for the entire year. If you happen to be doing Monday, or let's say Wednesday would be a great example. On Wednesdays, I like to do some kind of like background on the industry. So for Piece 11 waxing, we did hair removal throughout history down to like Egyptians plucking it out. Native Americans plucked it out with tweezers. Taking rock, cutting it down. So these like interesting stories that would be cool to share on social media. What happens if you build 41? Like, do you still keep on going? Now, for my clients, I still build 52 because I said I'd build 52. But if it's just for your own social media purposes, just build however many, kind of get it close.
So if you build 41, it just starts with number 1.
Just goes back
42.
over again.
Oh,
and don't
okay.
number them.
Right.
Don't number them. Or do number them on purpose and maybe mix them up in order or something. The very first thing that you have to do is research. Do some research on your avatar, do some research on your messaging, know what you want to drive traffic to. So if you happen to have a landing page, I need to know all the landing pages you want to send, actual links to. I need to know all the blog posts that you want to actually send traffic to. I want to know all your colors. I need to know all the logos, and this is the same for you. It's kind of like cooking. If you're cooking, everyone, when a chef is telling you how to cook, they tell you get all your ingredients together, get everything prepared, get everything chopped, and then start working, right? They don't say, oh, pull the meat out, get it all fixed, have it sizzling, and while you're sizzling, cut onions. No, get everything together so that when you're doing this, it's all right there for you to use. So something as simple as having your logo ready, you don't have to go spend an hour hunting for it, and then you get sidetracked, and then your ADD really kicks in and you start doing the dishes. Things just go bad from there, right? Start by getting everything, like even the day before, all ready, and know your customer. You can also go into Facebook and see what days are going to be the biggest posts for you, what days do people actually read. I can say from looking at this across so many different accounts, it's pretty much always the same for me. On Thursday and Friday is when there's the most eyes on target. So your organic feed is not going to be showing up everyone's social media, but if they're doing research, those are the days they're predominantly going to come to your page and see it. Why? Monday you just started a new week and you're actually like cool with work, right? You've got other things you're doing. You start to hit the hump and it goes downhill. Friday you're absolutely done with life and you're playing on Facebook more than you're working. Saturday and Sunday traditionally suck. Why? Because it's the weekend and people have better things to do with their lives than be on social media. So Saturday and Sunday, I'm always going to know, I want to know when the worst days are so I can put the posts that don't matter to me the most, but I want them in there to keep things mixed up. And I want to know when the 2 best days are, because that's when I want to put SEO type posts and posts for selling. Because we don't want to do all selling posts, but I do want to make sure my sales posts are the days that are going to get the most traffic. So all that research, knowing all of your logos, having them all handy, an all white logo, an all color logo. If you have a horizontal logo, a square logo, a round logo, any icon logos, whatever, have all your logos. Know the hex codes for all your colors. Have them written on a piece of paper so you can type them out, because that's what you're going to use when you're designing the actual stuff. And that kind of rolls into number 2, define your days. So we're defining them, and we're doing them 52 posts per day so we can customize the copy. So you go ahead and define what each day is going to be. Traditionally, I'm going to do a link on Thursday and a video kind of sales post on Friday. So that means I want to do something super simple on a Saturday that's text only. But on Facebook specifically, if you do a short, simple, easy, not long text post only, the words show up bigger. So it kind of breaks up the monotony of your feed. And then I'm going to pick something that's really simple and engaging and ask a question. It doesn't even necessarily have to be directly related with what you're doing, just kind of in the realm. So far, the highest performing question when I've asked it on my personal page is, if you were in a battle, would you rather go against a zombie, a vampire, or a werewolf? Just randomly, well over 128 comments before I stopped paying attention. People battling over, is it like Twilight vampire?
This is Saturday, you said?
Yeah, that's a Saturday. Just a question. So you can even tailor that specifically to your program.
Why would anybody even care?
If you're looking at your Facebook feed, there's gonna be a lot of pictures you care about, right? So think about like your kids.
Right.
At my age, it's gonna be the kids, the pictures that I care about. Maybe some weird or wonky thing that my friends have done or gotten themselves into. A lot of the link posts and question posts now, though, are political. They're no fun at all. So adding a little fun back into Facebook is how you're going to get a lot of interaction. So you're going to get, that particular question got all the comic book nerds. It got everybody watching Walking Dead. If you're thinking Walking Dead zombies, I'd rather take a zombie compared to the other ones. So now we're talking about different, is it called canon? Different stories, different types of zombies. If you're talking about World War Z zombies, they're really dangerous. And people started arguing over all the different
types of zombies.
Again, if you're going to argue about something on Facebook, make it something a little bit more fun. That particular post, when done correctly, can even make one of the most highest converting Facebook ads if you can relate it back to your business, to something that is highly divisive when it comes to your field. So I could say something like, as a marketer, email is dead, yay or nay. Content is not king, yay or nay. I mean, that could be something really simple. What's your favorite room in the house for a realtor or interior designer? How many steps in the selling cycle? Like, do you put, what order do you put these things in? If you're just asking a person a question, we feel automatically compelled to answer them if we care at all. If you're doing a picture post that's very similar, choose A or B. A, B, C, or D. Pick one. So for an interior designer, that's what we did. We actually did it for I think Wednesday posting or something of that nature. We did 4 rooms that she'd actually done because she had done such a large portfolio. I could put 4 different bedrooms in one picture and say, which is your dream bedroom?
I see posts like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Except we're not doing it to be, a lot of those posts are done by people trying to sell the account. They're trying to ramp up the engagement, and they literally sell the account off. This is, as a business, how do you create engagement? And that one, you can write something that says choose, and then you can give it another paragraph that says all these rooms were done. I won't say the name right now, but Colby Interiors. If you would like to turn your bedroom into your dream bedroom, call now. Not a link, call now. But just defining out those days. So typically Saturday is just a little short engagement post. In fact, it will be one of the easiest days to do, and the one I say to start doing. You can grab ideas from Post Planner. Post Planner is free. You don't need to actually use it as a scheduler, just it helps you churn out ideas. And you just go in there and you click engagement on the tab and then text only. It has a whole list of ideas. So for the business growth networkers, I have the whole video. I actually show that in the screen share in the other one. But again, Post Planner is free. You don't ever have to pay for it. Just go in there, steal the engagement suggestions. cultivate them to your own. What's the next one? Sunday, I typically do a link to someone else's stuff. So every industry, there are industry leaders who come out and churn out great content. That would be the day that I share those links. You don't want to share too many links because the algorithm doesn't necessarily like it. But you do want to show that you're reading the newest, latest, greatest industry news. If you're using something like Content Studio with another application called Replug, it will actually allow you to pixel the audience that clicks on the other person's link and even add a pop-up window on that person's website with your call to action. That's shady, but that's super cool. So that would be my Sunday. Monday is usually something a little bit more lighthearted, pictorial, like for Peace, Love, Wax, since I did like lashes and eyebrows, Keep Calm and Wax On. A little bit brighter, a little bit more of a traditional social media, like Kim Garce and Maria, forgot her last name right now. That stuff like those coffee jokes and let's get the day started and hoorah. If you want to do any kind of stuff that's like quotes from people in your industry, whether it's Steve Jobs or I've done a lot of veteran ones before, just depends on what kind of audience you're tailored for that. Tuesday, I'll usually do Tuesday tips so I can use the hashtag. That's the other one, I get to play on hashtags. Especially when you start transferring it over to YouTube and now LinkedIn, who's using hashtags, and Google+. Before it died, then hashtags mattered, so that was the other reason to group them by day. So Tuesday tips, and it would be a tip that I was offering, or in this case, my client. So you as the business is offering a Tuesday tip as it relates to your industry, offering value first. Wednesday wisdom, I traditionally have done some kind of history of how my business, or my client's business came to be, what's the background. Peace, Love, Wax is by far one of the most fun because the history of waxing is just interesting. It makes you cringe a little bit. History of interior design was really cool too, just to kind of see, obviously, if anyone, just different time periods, you have lots to work with. When you're talking about even sales, the history of sales, like something as simple as the history of the receipt to me is hilarious. I love that one. If you don't know the receipt, he created the receipt machine and nobody wanted it. No business owner would buy it. So he started advertising to the consumer saying, don't you want a receipt so you know that they rung it up right and you got your change back and so you know how much your business is spending. And so when people started asking for receipts, then he went back to the business owners and said, how'd you like that receipt machine now? And he sold receipt machines. That's how we have the cash register and one of the #1 things in the landfill. But those kind of stories, any industry,
paper.
Right?
Yeah.
Not even recyclable.
Right.
But those little tidbits do well on social medias too. Imagine Richardson Plano networkers, and I'll get to this tip towards the end, assuming I haven't gone too far over time. You can share your page, their post that you're doing, instead of spending each time in your morning to make a post, taking a few minutes of your day and sharing the post that's already posted to a group like, let's say, Richardson Plano networkers. Everyone else is selling in the group. You're telling them the history and the receipt. That is a shareable post. Buy my stuff. Stuff is not the word I wanted to use. Nobody cares about that. That's how you get no engagement whatsoever. But the posts that you're creating here are worth sharing. People are going to learn that you're not just salesy, and they're going to pay attention. Thursday, that's when I get into my own stuff. For search engine optimization, one of the big pillars is social media. It's not about having your link backlink to a million places randomly on the internet. Social media is a big one. So for Thursday, I typically do a link to my own website. That could be my blog post, because I want to continue to give them traffic and that content new life. But it's also going to be all my lead magnets. The only 2 days that I link are Thursday and Sunday. Sunday gets someone else's link, Thursday gets a link from me. That way you keep everything mixed up. Friday, I try to do a video. There's no way you're probably going to be able to knock out 52 awesome high quality videos in one day. You can use a thing like videos to get short, sweet videos, or you can do really quick videos with testimonials. I've used Lumen 5 to make, I trip over these things all the time every time I speak. Lumen 5 will take your blog post and automatically turn it into a video, which is really cool, but it will not be able to do it in one day. So if you want to add a video, video is the only one spot that will take you longer, but you can still get enough videos out in even 1 hour. You could make 3 videos to get you started if you really want to do video and take another day to do videos. Either way, you'll still get that. Just get them defined and at least acknowledge what you want. Start on a simple day like Saturday where you're just doing a simple engagement post. Get 52 of those scheduled so you can like figure it out on a day that's easy without a lot of drama. Let's see where I'm at here. 3, we're going to do written content. Written content, just, is that how you spell written? 2 T's? Go into something like Google Docs. I generally like to keep everything in the cloud and keep it really simple. You can create a sheet, and at the bottom you have tabs. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday tabs. So everything is in one singular sheet. I should probably make one of these for everyone else to use and share. I know, right? Wouldn't a worksheet be awesome?
You do that in Evernote too.
Yes, but I cannot export it in the format I want in Evernote. So Google Sheets it is. You can do that in Numbers on a Mac or Excel on a PC. But again, Google will keep it in the cloud so you can work from it from anywhere, from your phone, from your computer, and you can download it from anywhere. And some of the programs will actually let you directly upload, download from Google Drive. Just checking. In your written comment, you're only going to be working in the very first column for the most part. If you get really super advanced, you might move into the second columns to add. Content Studio will allow you to do more columns, but to keep it simple, stupid, just start in the first column and then day 1, 2, 3 for each line and row. Just write your copy, nothing special, no formatting. What is the copy that you actually want in the post? And this is why Saturday is the best day to start with, because all you're working with is copy. And it's super simple and short and sweet. How was your day? Would you rather battle a zombie or a werewolf? You know, just something really short with a question mark. You don't have to learn how to do an enter inside of a worksheet, or sorry, inside of a sheet, which is Shift Enter, I believe. Command Enter, I think. That actually gives you spaces. You don't have to learn how to do anything, so you get to start playing with it on a simple day. But do that for each one of your days, or each one of the days that you're focused on working on. So you can do all 52 posts all the way down the line, and then when you come into Content Studio, and you go and you create your little bulk space that you're going to put all your Mondays in, it will give you an option that's saying bulk upload. So instead of having to individually copy paste into individual posts and save them each individually, you can download that sheet as a CSV, completely upload it into Content Studio, Meet Edgar. I think Hootsuite does that as well now. And you can get 52 posts automatically created. And since your Saturday doesn't have any videos or images or links or anything, you're done. It populates 52 posts. You make sure they all, just generally kind of peruse through and make sure it all looks good, and you hit save. And that's it. Monday's done. I'm sorry, that would be Saturday's done. eClincher used to give me funny, like every now and then it wouldn't upload like characters, like if I put an asterisk or something in, it wouldn't upload it right, which is another reason I moved to Content Studio, because it has much smoother user experience. So it shouldn't even be a problem. Just do a quick perusal. Make sure all your timestamps are right. Make sure it's on 1 week, not 5 times a day. Don't annoy Facebook. That written copy is then able to be done. So do all your written stuff that you're actively working on first. Like if you get writer's block and you only do Saturday and Sunday, don't not go to the next step and upload it because you feel like you have to do the other 5 days. But once you do a batch, go ahead and go on to the next step. The next one is going to be creative. So again, your Saturday is not going to have creative. If you do it right, Sunday's not going to have creative because the link is going to bring in the image for you. So all you need is the copy and the link. Same thing with Thursday. If you've done your website right, the creative already exists. There's already a main image. So you don't have to do creative on 3 of those days. The other days should have some pictures. Pictures and video do really well on Facebook. So go ahead and view all your images. If you use like Relay That or Visme, this goes really quick. I actually prefer Relay That at this point for this particular project because it will give you the whole square, come up with your template, and over on the right side, you don't even have to mess inside the image. You just copy paste it. It already strips the formatting out for you. and you just change out the quote in one box, change out the person who wrote the quote in the next box, and you can have 52 quotes by veterans in less than an hour that are completely branded to you, has your logo somewhere tiny, you don't want to make it all up in your face, has a different background image because they already have stock photography included in the program. So for every image, you just drag a new image in the background. I thought that would be hard with Peace Love Wax. It is not. It's not hard to find kids. It's not hard to find business people. It's not hard to find contractors. There's certain imagery that's just easy to find. And it's all there in free stock photography. You don't have to pay for it. Each image could have a new background image. You just go find the quotes and toss something new in the background.
And that's with Relay That.
That's with Relay That. Now, if you want to put somebody hyper-specific, like you do a quote of George Washington and you want George Washington's picture in there, you do have to download his picture, strip it from the internet, upload it into Relay That. It's literally drag it from your downloads folder and drop it in a little box, and Relay That formats it for you. But doing that creative, again, same thing with the written content. It is so much easier with like Relay That to do 52 images in a row than it would be if you sat down with the exact same program and try to do a post for Monday, a post for Tuesday, a post for Thursday. If you do it all at the same time, and then you mix it up by spreading it out by a week using a content scheduler, that becomes a lot easier. Then upload. The reason upload's down here, not right after written, is because if you do have creative, you can add the creative into your upload. In Content Studio, you can actually put it in the same document, but you have to upload your pictures first to something like Kyvio or somewhere it has a unique hosted URL. If not, you can add it separately after you upload the content. That gets complicated. I never do it that way. I bulk upload the written part into Content Studio, and I go down post by post and say, here's the image upload that goes to that one, here's the image that goes to that one upload, because I want to make sure it has the right image.
How does it know how to lay out the page? Put the image here, put the image there.
How to lay out. This is social media post, so it has content and it has an image. What do you mean lay out the page?
Well, when you say social media, I'm thinking of Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
Okay. So, is it putting the text on top of the image? I mean,
On this particular one, I mean, this is separate. When you're making an image, I use Relay That, and Relay That's program puts the right text in the right size, in the right color on the image. That's the picture. Uploading it in the content scheduler, that's on Facebook. There's who it's by, you know, Randy or Warfare Marketing or whatever, and then there's the text, and then there's the image of the video. And then beneath that, it might have, you know, extra stuff, like it'll bring in stuff from the actual post. So uploading it, you're uploading this written part that we downloaded as a CSV file. So it's pulling up, and it makes one post for every row. So if you have 52 rows, it makes 52 separate posts with the words that are in each block. Then on each one, you can say edit and add the image that you made. There is a way in Content Studio to do it all in one CSV file. I found it a major pain in the tushy. It doesn't always bring things in the right way, or it'll tell me I can't upload my CSV because I've formatted something wrong because I'm a moron. So I have just preferred to upload my creative separately. That way I also get to sanity check everything, make sure that every post has the right image, everything looks good, everything's spelled correctly, all at one time. And you just do one block at a time. You upload it. I will typically upload it, and as soon as I upload the written part, I hit save, and then I will actually come back to it and then separately upload the creative, just so I don't lose my work. And about every 10 pictures I'll save, just in case, because I would rather have it saved, and I have actually done this, do like 48 images to the text, fix on all the text inside, not save, have something happen to the application and it go out, because the applications are complicated and computers happen, and then you lose all that work. And for me, losing an hour or 2 hours worth of work is a major pain in the tushy. So save early, save often, just like everything else. I didn't put save in the other one. Anyways, do make sure everything's scheduled. inside of that. Make sure all the timing is correctly. But one thing that I really, 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 really love about Content Studio is you can go over to a calendar view that shows the entire month to make sure that you have one post per day going out. And it has little colored lines that tell you that this is scheduled, this actually posted. A red one means it failed to post, which means you have a problem somewhere, usually in your token that you need to renew. But literally, that is how simple all that is. And you're just doing that for each day of the week. I mean, obviously the hard part is you're like, oh, I'm not a digital graphics artist. Relay does all the work for you. That's why I like Relay that. I don't even need my graphic designer. I don't even have to have any skizzles. You input your brand colors, you import your logos, and it actually saves them for you. You can even import your own font files, so everything is absolutely branded to you, which is what we're helping to create. So when somebody does become aware of you, that you can engage them, and if they research you, you don't look like you're non-existent. You actually look like you're actively working, that you actively have things going on. And then the other one becomes kind of an offshoot bonus. So bonus number one, besides getting all your time back, create a share schedule. So you can go find a number of groups. David's got Richardson Plano Networking Group. There's a mom group for every single city, plus usually an offshoot mom business group where some mom got kicked out of the other one, so she started another one. There's a ton of them, and since we live in a DFW metro area, you're not even limited to one. I live on the corner of Plano, McKinney, and Frisco. I'm in all three business groups. Then there's also a Frisco, Plano business moms. There's a McKinney, Little Elm, Frisco, Plano, Allen, Murphy business moms. Go find all the business groups that you have access to. If you go to any one of these daily networking one or weekly networking ones, they may or may not have a group. Those are all groups. Get all the links, put them in like a little folder, maybe put them on another sheet that you built your CSV file in, just somewhere where you have easy access to it that you will actually go and do it, put it in your calendar every day, and then know their rules. Most of the business groups, so not the garage sale pages, not the mom group itself, but most of the business ones will allow you at least one post a day. So all you have to do is go back to your business page. You never actually even leave your business page. You hit share, start typing in the name of the group, and it pops up. Hit that one, write something a little specific to that group, copy paste that text before you hit send, share to the next group, paste that in there, edit it to make it specific. I obviously don't want to say, hey, Frisco moms in the McKinney moms group. That would be almost insulting to one of the groups. I don't know which one would be most insulted. But share those, and that's where all your organic reach starts to come in at. Your page by itself will get 0 organic reach, but if you take that post that you've already created months ago, and you take it and you share it to all your groups, the post that was only going to get 17 views organically just got 10,000. And that actually works. And if you have, there's obviously some secrets in the copy here, right? It's always great to have some form of question in each post if humanly possible. The one post was easy, but for your Tuesday tips, saying what's one thing you'd like to learn more about into your design? What's one sales tip that you think you could best benefit? What one sales tip that has benefited you the most? Just asking some question. That's obviously one thing that's going to help you out, because then people are going to engage with the post. Post gets more algorithm love, goes up in the group, and more people see it. If it's more interactive, so like the ones that said A, B, C, D, the images, people don't recognize that as a sales post. And so if it's in a group, which has the most algorithm love right now, it's going to be seen by someone in the group, and they're just going to go B, not even realizing it's a sales post. Every single one of these posts, so Thursday is traditionally going to have something to your website, so it doesn't need any sales more information. But you don't want to do a link on everyone. So I usually put some kind of text that I will literally copy paste inside of this CSV. I'll even write it first and use the little dot where you can drag it all the way down, and do that before I actually, have you ever used a sheet before or Excel? So inside the box, if you hover over the line, a little dot will show up. If you click and hold that dot and drag it down, it will fill all 52 boxes with the exact same text. So if you have your actual sales part of the post, so I will usually do a spacer, and then my written part will be like, if you would like Mary Tucker, hers was, you know, if you're selling your home, all sellers get free home staging with me. Call me here or reach out to me at my, you know, whatever. So I had some basic sales line that had 0 website link. 0 link is the key, but would have a phone number or, hey, go visit me at my website. Website's in the profile. And I would just copy paste that to all that, and then I would come back. Actually, I think I had 2 spacers. One for the line I would come, one for a space in between on the post, and then my actual text. And then afterwards I would come do all my personalized post part. Does that make sense? Every single post that had an image would have space, space, so 2 empty lines, and then it would have the sales part of the post, but only like a phone number. And then I would come back after copying that all the way down to every single one of them. Then I would come back and customize the text on the first line. That way every single one has some kind of phone number or call to action. And there's a space right here so that it's not too blocky and too much text on Facebook. That space is a real pain in the ass to create though. Just try not to curse. Slip. I can't remember. I want to say it's like Command Enter. Because if you just hit enter, you go to the next block. So I think you have to hit Command Enter, Enter, then that's still live. That's what happens when I curse live. But that ability to create the share schedule, that is how you get organic love on Facebook really easily with as minimal effort each morning as humanly possible. Once you've done that about a week, you can do that in maybe 5 to 10 minutes while you have coffee, or for as long as that Keurig takes to warm up before the Keurig even warms up. The other bonus, as I've run out of room, is Facebook ads. So Facebook ads, if you actually hire management, is going to be like $500 a month and manage it minimum. $250 if you use somebody who has no idea what they're doing. And even more if you use somebody that actually does know what they're doing. You can create a basic pixeled audience. So just people who are going to your website for whatever reason whatsoever. And then I would say one uploaded audience that's your actual leads, customers, clients, whatever. Upload those into the Facebook ads platform. If you don't know how, come talk to me. This is not the hard part. Go hire someone on Fiverr to do it for you. You can then, every single time you have a post, put $5 and boost it to only your pixeled audience and only your uploaded custom audience. I had a client actually do that. That wasn't even my brainiac move. He just wanted Facebook ads and he didn't want to make them and he didn't want to pay for management. If you're going to do the Facebook trick, I recommend keeping that in mind and knowing that prior to creating your post. Because even though Facebook lets you now, there's a rule called the 20% rule. 20% is your limitation on amount of the image that can be text or logo. So you want, when you create your creative, it should be predominantly imagery. All the text and the writing should be written. Logo can't be too big. Quotes are obviously not going to do very well. Sometimes you can get away with it. So I have a guy who does video and it actually recognizes this rule on video now too. And he'll take the normal wide video format, stick it in a square format with those like meme headers and bottoms. That is more than 20% text. So he loses visibility and the price goes up on that video if he boosts it. But the words in the meme supersede, he'll get more visual engagement, which supersedes the 20% rule. So that goes up and then makes the cost go down. But he's going to struggle with it and it's not super grabbing and attention. That's not going to do well. So if you do it as a Facebook ad, just keep that in mind when you're over here. But these can be used as Facebook ads, as down and dirty. Put $5 behind each one each morning. Just do the boost tab. If you've already got the audience created, it'll show up in the targeting. And you don't have to do really complicated Facebook ads, but you get the benefit of targeting people who are already looking at your stuff. And you probably won't even use your $5 if you're a small business, because you won't have enough people for them to send it to. And those people that do hit your website that are thinking about using you will not be able to forget who you are, because as we were discussing off camera just before this, at least every 6th post is an ad, and you're just going to keep on showing up. Because if there's only 10 people to show it to, Facebook's gonna show up 10 times, doesn't matter. You'll keep rolling, you'll be the only ad. Obviously in December and January you'll get less play because everyone else is advertising, but it gets nice. Let's see, I talked about replug if you want a pixel, but again that gets a little bit more complicated. But especially if you're using the Facebook ad trick, adding replug to the mix is super helpful. And then I mentioned Lumen 5 for video. So I think I got everything. Any questions? Nothing, Randy?
I've taken a lot of notes.
Could you do it? You get the gist
I
of
would
it?
say eventually, yeah. Maybe not today.
I promise you, you could get Saturday done today. There's no pictures, there's no video, just short little simple questions. That could be done today, and there's like zero excuse not to have it done by the end of the day. And the only excuse you really have is I wanted to play on Facebook more, I'd rather watch Seinfeld. Do it with some wine and coffee. Right, Ann, how do you feel about it?
That last part lost me,
Which one?
the bonus.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Then don't worry about it. That would be a really good one, but that definitely isn't like a baby step. But if you've got everything else put together,
See, I already have my theme days, so.
there you go. But if you got everything else out and you got them all scheduled, and then again, create one bridge before you move to the next, you got this done first, and then you moved over to a share schedule to get your organic love, and then you moved to adding it as an advertisement, and you did those in steps so that each one was easy, then it's not so overwhelming.
So do you use Content Studio for pretty much all
Your
that?
scheduling.
So for
For
everything,
Scheduling and,
all the scheduling is done through Content Studio. I have a link if y'all are gonna buy it. There are some places here that Content Studio can actually make your life super easy so that you don't even have to do this section over here with the Google Sheets. So Content Studio, in addition to their evergreen scheduling, try to get all fancy, and they have other ways to pull random media out. So on your Sunday when you need random links, you can say, I want Social Media Examiner, I don't know, Jeff, who does PLF? Walker. Jeff Walker's blog, Kyvio's blog, Adespresso has a great blog. Take those 5 blogs, and every time there's a blog post, I want you to take it and put it on and schedule it for a Saturday. But only from those posts. That way you don't want to get random blogs on the internet, share random stuff. You want trusted resources here, and then tell it to populate like 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance. That way your content is always kind of current to what's coming out. So now you can completely skip Sunday altogether using Content Studio. You can do the same thing with YouTube
Content Studio
videos.
says that it's free. They have a free
Trial.
version. You can only have 2 social accounts. So social accounts, Facebook and something else.
You're not gonna get the scheduler, the evergreen content.
Okay.
So
And then
for-
the next one is $49 a month for Pro. 10
They bumped
social
it up.
accounts, 1 blog platform, 10 automation campaigns.
The automation campaigns are what you want.
Okay, so 10 for Pro, that's $49 a month.
Yep. Didn't say that's about, Meet Edgar I think is 47 or 49. Hootsuite, if you get data, the other one that you're gonna start getting is data. So I didn't really go into it because it gets more complicated. One of the things that every business owner right now is wanting is they want attribution. So at the enterprise level, ActiveCampaign has attribution tracking, which becomes really amazing. You can set it up in Google Analytics, and then you can of course hire things like, the lobster company. There's another company that does it for $300 a month. So that offers the ability to do attribution and some attribution tracking. So when you do a link, you can add what's called a UTM code to the back of that link. So if you've ever clicked on a link and then you try to copy it and send it to somebody and the link's like this big, that's because it has UTM tracking on it. So there's the normal link that's nice and short and sweet, but then you can say this came from a Content Studio tracking, that the agency Warfare Marketing did it, that this is part of the winter 12 Days of Christmas campaign. This is a blog post that's being promoted on Facebook, organic. I mean, you've got up to like 7 spaces. You can put whatever you want in there for it to track. And then it has an automatic link shortener, even if you're not using Replug, that takes it and makes it tiny. So it's like the GOO.LGLE, yeah, like Bitly. And then if you add Replugio, I call it Replugio, it's just replug.io. That's when you can get your pixel in there too. So on top of that, and then on top of that, you get your pop-up, your call to action on the other side. The ability to do the attribution like that means that you can start seeing what content people actually like. When you start being able to track life cycle cost and you're tracking these things in a CRM, or you're using, I cannot remember the name of the other program. It's $300 a month, and I had a client who swore by it. But a lobster company was able to use attribution and figure out that there was content that sold the most upfront, that drove the traffic that bought upfront. But then there was other content that didn't sell as much upfront, but the lifetime value of that customer was significantly higher. So they started churning out all this random content they were creating, and they were able to start focusing on recipes. They sold lobsters. What everyone wanted was recipes. If you have a recipe for lobster, you need a lobster.
Right.
Go figure, right? So they started churning out recipes because recipes sold the most lifetime customer value at the lowest cost. And then you can work with other bloggers who do food and say, hey, we'd love to feature your lobster recipe. Everyone's happy. So that gets into attribution. It depends on what you want for your business. I actually have a social media scheduler, if you wanted to do that, called Plannable, that I could just sell it to you for $40 because I have too many and I've moved to Content Studio. But it's not going to have the ability to automate your schedule. Just send it out to multiple platforms at one time, which is better than nothing. You just can't schedule way in advance. Any other questions? You're to do this tonight, David, right?
Yeah.